If you could change any choices you have ever made, would you? You can always make another choice and change the course of your success. Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices radio show, Christine McIver.
Welcome, my friendly peeps, all you business entrepreneurs. I am thrilled that you are here tonight. We have another show for you. We're talking all about business, but business from the crazy side of business. So what's crazy for you in business? What's happening for you in your business? Do you sometimes feel like you're the crazy one in business? Well, we're going to be talking about how to take the crazy out of your business. And if you are just joining us, if this is the first time, you can be connecting with us at the inspiredchoicesnetwork.com/chat room. You can be joining us live streaming. You can be live streaming through our app. We have a phone app. Just search Inspired Choices Network. You can also check us out while we're live streaming on Facebook, and we're live streaming on YouTube. So wherever you are listening from, welcome. If you're listening in the replay, I would love to know where you're listening from. That would be really, really cool. So who the heck am I? I'm Christine McIver. I'm a business optimization expert. Big words for saying I love business and I know how to do it. I actually take the crazy out of business and I bring pleasure in, because I have a very strong knowing that business can be and absolutely should be pleasurable. Why would you do it if it's not, right? Why should you do anything if you're not having pleasure in it? Now, I know a lot of people have the desire on their heart to have a business, and many of you might be doing business but feeling stressed. Well, come on over, sit down, pour yourself a cuppa or pour yourself a cocktail, whatever it is, and let's start to learn how we can take the crazy out of business. If you would like to connect with me, if you would like to have some personalized support in your business, you can do so by emailing me, Christine, at inspiredchoices.ca. Or you can find me on my website, inspiredchoices.ca, or of course, across all social media platforms. I am the CEO of the Inspired Choices Network, the platform where we live stream from, and the platform that carries all of my content. And being the CEO, I have the pleasure of getting to know people that really look to bring their expertise to the world, and we get to support them to become a global authority. We have so many amazing people creating content and trusting in what we do to bring them to the world. And if you're someone that is looking for an organization that's going to support you, so you get to show up and really just be there and do your expert work without doing all the other details, do reach out to me. Again, Christine at inspiredchoices.ca, because I would love to share with you what's really possible with us and with the Inspired Choices Network. I have a brilliant team of people that we work with, and all of our hosts are supportive of each other. I'm telling you, we're building a strong community of strong business people who know how to step up and bring their authority across 450 platforms. I mean, if you're going to be an expert, do you not want the world to know about you? So reach out and let's really take the crazy out of your business and start to elevate you in your business to something that maybe you've never even imagined. Okay, let's get into this. Take the crazy out of business. So do you ever feel like your business is a roller coaster ride of chaos and unpredictability? I mean, who hasn't felt that, right? Are you tired of the constant stress and uncertainty that comes with entrepreneurship? That's what a lot of people experience, and they actually walk away because they experience that so very, very much. What would your life be like if you were no longer chasing your tail in the crazy of your business? Well, my friends, it's time to take control and take the crazy out of your business. Let's really begin to gain the knowledge to have ease in our businesses and in our business life and increase the pleasure in our everyday. So let's get into this. The first thing I want to do, which I often do, is I want to talk about the original definition of the word crazy. So the original definition of the word crazy is diseased or sickly. Is your business diseased or sickly? Perhaps you feel sickly when things are going crazy in your business. It goes on to say broken, impaired, full of cracks or flaws. Now, oh my gosh, those last ones really read, because when we feel like we're going in every direction and business is crazy, or we're on that roller coaster and we have no control, we feel like we are broken, and there is definitely an impairment in our business because we really are looking to be able to control it and move it in the direction that we want. We'll come back to the word control in a little bit. It also goes on to say deranged, demented, of unsound mind, or behaving as so. So how many of you have felt that that's where you're at when things are crazy in your business, that you're not of sound mind, that you are going in so many different directions? If you're joining us in the chat room, I would absolutely love to hear if you've experienced this and what actually was going on for you when you were experiencing this. So from those definitions, let's start there, shall we? So if you are feeling broken or impaired, or like you're sickly, or the business is sickly, let me ask you this. How much of your business do you feel like you need to control it? So control is a very interesting word. One of our hosts, Michaela Gaffin-Stone, has a show called Navigating Complicated Relationships. And I was listening to her show today. She was talking about children. And really, I'm sorry, I don't remember the title of it off the top of my head, but it was about children. And it really talked a lot about the control. She was talking about spanking children. She was talking about, leaving them at school without them knowing you're leaving them, a lot of different things. And that really has the essence of control. We're trying to control people. We're trying to control children. We're trying to do so much control. So when we are unable to control something, it becomes frustrating. Now, when we're unable to control something and we're frustrated, and then that bleeds over into affecting our cash flow, then our anxiety can kick in, our fear can kick in. And that's when we start to feel deranged. We start to feel like, oh my God, which direction am I going in? What am I going to do? When we don't know what direction to go in, especially when we're trying to do control, yes, everything can become very heavy. There can be a lot more anxiety going on, and there can be a lot more confusion within ourselves. Like, should I actually be doing this business? You've heard me. If you've heard me say this once, you've heard me say this 1,000 times. Your business came to you so it could come through you. There is a beautiful combination of who you are and your brilliance, whether you are aware of it today or you will be aware of it in the future. That is a beautiful match for your business. If that wasn't true, then that business actually wouldn't have popped for you. Okay. Everything is a match. We know energy connects to energy in every single thing in the world. The same is true for business. So if at the time of conceiving this business in your mind and your excitement was very, very heightened, that was a match for you. Okay. So let's just set that in place. Now, if you are starting to feel crazy, that there's a lot of craziness in your business, that there's a huge amount of roller coaster in your business, and you're not sure on what to do in order to survive, well, I'm going to give you a big heads up. You are trying to push against the possibilities that are trying to evolve for you. When we're trying to do control, we have made up our mind the direction that something needs to go in. We've made a plan. We've etched out the plan. We've decided, yep, that's exactly what I would love to have happen. I'm going to make that happen and watch me make that happen. So what we do is in our desires, we start to lay out exactly what we want. I want this business to have great popularity. I want to be able to have at least 10 clients a week. I want to be able to have cash flow of 10,000 a month. I want to be able to only work 20 hours a week, and so on and so forth. So we start to lay this out. Now, I'm not saying that these things aren't possible. Okay. I am saying that when we start to create a desire and those desires are not coming to fruition, oftentimes we've laid out exactly, and that's the big word here, exactly how the business has to go. And so when we're trying to control it, we're actually suffocating the creativity that is desiring to come through. So I can speak from personal experience as well as working with clients that whenever we've tried to make something happen a certain way, we're actually missing huge opportunities of other things the way that they would like to come through. So for instance, when I first started to do my coaching practice, when I started my business, I thought that what I would be doing would be coaching one-on-one. And I really thought that I would be coaching one-on-one mainly from a personal perspective to inspire other people, to really help them with their confidence, to move them in a place of positive relationships with their family, and so on, like in that area, in that realm. And what started to occur is people started to ask me questions. People started to ask me questions about, I've thought about going into my own business. And just when that kind of came through, when they were asked, where they were sharing this with me, it would pop for me. It would be an exciting moment for me. And I would say, well, I've done that. I could support you and help you with that. So what started to occur was as people were sharing things with me, and I received an exciting energy around that, I started to receive more business opportunities. So my business started to evolve into the business realm while I was still in the personal realm. Okay. Then what started to occur was another opportunity that would come along. So people asking about support in websites. And then this continued to go on and on. Now, when I first started out, which most of us, when we first start out in our businesses, we have probably come from, many of my clients have come from the corporate world and probably had years in the corporate world and had education that supported their corporate field. Now, when you're first starting out, your revenue is not as high as where you would like it, right? Because you're just getting started. When frustration sets in, or when people in your family or friends start to ask you questions about how is the business doing? Are you making money at it? By the way, asking somebody if they're making money at their business is very rude. So mind your own business. But when people do this, we can start to go into a great deal of doubt. And then I've had people say this to me, and I've had people say this to clients. Well, maybe you should go back to your previous job because you went to school for it and you have all this experience. Surely you'd be able to get another job in that field. And I don't know about you, but every single solitary time someone ever said that to me, I felt like I wanted to throw up. That was my body's way of saying, hell no, it makes you sick. That was the true crazy for me, was because I did feel sick when I was working in that field in the last few years of my career. But that is what begins to happen for us, is we really start to doubt ourselves, and we feel like, you know what, this is crazy. I shouldn't be doing this. I should go back to where I have that previous experience. I've had clients where they were not happy in their job. They left their job. They went into an entirely new industry. And when they were feeling frustrated and out of control, they went back to their previous industry. And one client in particular went back to the industry, and she was back in the industry for about 3 or 4 years. And she just about had a mental breakdown because the crazy was even worse than when she was there before. And she finally stepped out of it and said, enough of this nonsense of staying in this field that was not contributing to me. Right? So we've got to really pay attention to how we define what's crazy and how we define what success needs to look like with the way our business is going to evolve. When you start to open up to other opportunities, when you are not in the mindset of this is exactly how something needs to go, you're going to be open to more possibilities coming to you. Now, I've got a lot more to share with you, how we're going to take the crazy out of the business and how we're going to bring more pleasure into the business. But first, we've got to pay some bills. So we're going to go for our commercial break. When we get back, we're going to jump back into this. We're going to talk all about how to take the crazy out of your business. You're listening to Christine McIver on the Inspired Choices show here on the Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for being here. Now, if you've ever felt crazy, felt like you've been on a roller coaster, are thinking about starting a business, or are really contemplating ending your business because of all of the nonsense that you've been going through, stick around because I've got some things I want to share with you. You know, I really do feel very, very passionately that business should be pleasurable. Now, that doesn't mean that every day is total, lay back and have a cocktail and eat bonbons. That's not what it means. It doesn't mean that every day is going to be totally easy and that there's not going to be frustration. What pleasure means is that you're able to move through your day, accomplish, grow, live the desires that are in your heart. But when we're talking about, when in the first segment, we were talking a lot about how much we are actually doing control and creating the crazy in our business. So I have a question for you. I want you to ask yourself, have I decided the way my business is going to be structured? Might be a weird question, but tell me what your answer is. Have I decided the way my business is going to be structured? I would tell you that most people, before they ever say to the general public that they're going to start their own business, that they've already decided the way that their business is going to be structured. Now, I'm going to go against most people and I'm going to say that's the wrong thing to do. And the reason for that is because until you've been in your own business, you don't even know who you are in business, right? You don't know what skill sets you have and what skill sets are lacking. You don't know if you would actually like to have 10 clients a week. You don't know that until you start and you see the impact on you and how you need to be doing business. You don't know that. You don't know how much paperwork might be involved if you have your business set up a certain way, structured in a certain way. So for you to structure your business in advance of you really stepping your toe into the entrepreneurial field and being in it at least 5 years, you really don't know who you are in business yet. Because a business goes through a lot of changes. And you, my friend, you're the biggest change that is going to occur in your business. If you are not doing personal development work on yourself while you are in business, you are going to feel like you're going crazy because of the changes that are going to occur in your business and in the world of doing business. There are so many changes that are occurring, especially in the last 20 years of being in your own business. We're doing business online now, and we're still babies in doing it. We haven't even been doing it for 30 years. Imagine that when they test a pill, they usually test it for many more years than that, right? When they're testing out different things, they have years and years of data. You don't have that data. And with all of the changes that are going on every single day in business, you're still evolving. You are still growing, learning about who you are and what works for you and what doesn't. So back to my question, if you decided the way your business is going to be structured before you started your business and it wasn't going in that direction, you likely got frustrated, right? You likely, or maybe you possibly felt like you were a failure. You maybe started to doubt yourself. How many of you out there have been doubting yourself because you decided or someone told you the way that your business should be? That's another big thing. Okay, so I strongly believe that people should have a business coach. I strongly do. But do not have a business coach that tells you what to do. There is a difference between having a business coach who is coaching you or who is consulting you. If you hire a consultant, they're an expert and they come in and say, okay, you need to set it up this way. You need to do it this way. This is how you do it. Boom, 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 right? Having a business coach, first of all, they work with you. The term that we used in our coaching training was dance with the client. Dance where the client is. If the client is a newbie in business, you need to start there. You don't try to push behaviors and actions that someone that's been in business for 10 or 20 years on a newbie. You'll blow them out of the water. They'll never be able to handle it. At the same time, you don't coach people who have been seasoned business owners with things that are right out of the gate for a brand new person. So you need to be coaching them from a different perspective. They're going to have different challenges. They're going to have different mindsets where they will struggle. Everybody in business doubts themselves at different times. It's not just one and done. People doubt ourselves because each time that we have been someone who has up-leveled or we've up-leveled our business, we then go through another growth period. So if are you going through a growth period right now? Ask yourself that question. Are you up leveling? Do you see yourself in a different state of mind, a different understanding of who you are in business? Do you see yourself? Have you been elevating yourself? Are you someone that's out there doing talks now where that was not something that you did before? Are you now looking at your price points or looking at other people's price points and going, my gosh, like, I don't think I'm charging enough, right? If you find that you are up leveling or you have outgrown your original structure, you might start to feel crazy. You are growing and evolving, and your business is going to grow and evolve. And having a coach, they're going to walk beside you. But if you have a business coach who is telling you something that is right or wrong, if they are telling you you shouldn't be doing that because they're not the right business coach. Now, I know this is my point of view, but you came to my show, so I'm going to give you my point of view. I believe a business coach should be someone that is asking you questions, that is looking at where you are at and where you want to go to, right? And what you want to do is you want to have someone who is going to walk beside you. And then when you feel stuck or at a place maybe with, how do you think I should set up my website? Or how often do you think I should be doing my marketing? Do you think this would be an advantage to me? They can bring their business mindset and they can bring their coaching to the table in answering those questions. There's not a one and done answer for every single person that is looking at the same aspects that you're looking at, because you're not the same person. So when you're working with a coach who is telling you what to do and not actually coaching and supporting you from where you are and assisting you to evolve, you can absolutely feel crazy. If you're trying to do something that other people are doing that makes you so incredibly uncomfortable, you need to step back. Of course, you're going to feel crazy. Of course, you're going to experience what most people experience is frustration and feeling like they're a failure. If you are trying to do something the exact same way somebody else is doing it, I can tell you it's not going to fit. Because you are not the same person and your business is not the same as their business, right? Business is not cookie cutter. You didn't buy a franchise, did you? If you bought a franchise, it is cookie cutter. It's primarily cookie cutter. You do the same things, you use the same products, you use the same pricing. It's a business model that people like, they find it easy. And then other people that don't do great with the exact same thing all the time, they find it quite frustrating to be in a franchise situation. But you have to ask yourself, where is this crazy coming from? What am I frustrated about in my business? What is the roller coaster that I've been experiencing? Okay. Because until you can really pinpoint what's going on, you can't start to evaluate it and you can't start to see where the truth lies. If you are feeling super frustrated and super like you're going crazy because you're working so hard and you're not making the money, that's when it really is important that you get support. Because when you're in that space, my friends, you cannot evaluate it the same way somebody from the outside can evaluate it. And oftentimes, I experience this and my clients have experienced it. We feel like there's something wrong with us because we're not getting it. But the fact of the matter is that we lack knowledge. We lack education. We lack support. So if you're trying to do something, let me take the situation of having your own podcast. I speak to people all the time that are interested in learning more about what we do, and they share with me what they've gone through. We have a client, a host that's on the network now, and she had her own podcast. She in fact had two. She posted them all on YouTube. And what she ended up having happen is she says she went into Google jail. So someone hacked her Google account, her YouTube account. They got in there and they shut down her YouTube channel, and they deleted another bunch of YouTubes from her. And she actually lost a great deal of the work that she had done in posting it there. Now, luckily, she had the original content recordings, so they were not lost. However, she was super frustrated because she was working in a realm that was not her area of expertise. She was trying to learn something and do something in an area that was super frustrating and took her a long time and did make her feel incredibly frustrated and incredibly lost and sometimes feeling crazy. And she threw up her hands and she said, enough of this, enough of this. Thankfully, she got to that space where she was like, look, I know what I bring to the table with my expertise. Doing this is not it. So is there something that you're doing in your business that you know right well is making you crazy, making you frustrated, taking up your time, which is money, and leading you down a path of not actually connecting with possible clients, of not being in that creative zone, of not actually reaching out and having conversations and cultivating new opportunities. What are you doing that you shouldn't be doing? Most entrepreneurs are doing a great deal of things they shouldn't be doing. So I want you to think about this. Please make a list. Even if you only write down 2 or 3 things and you start to look at how much time you're spending on doing those 2 or 3 things, you're going to be shocked at how much time that's taking up. And then when you look at it, if you were to pay someone, you would likely pay someone at least half as much as you would get paid for your services. If you were to do that and you were to take that time and invest it into cultivating new opportunities, you would be making double, if not triple, the amount of money that you're actually paying out. That's huge. Just that alone. And I know that's a big step. I understand that's a big step to take the risk, but there are ways to do this so it's not too difficult. But when you are willing to look at that, you will start to take the crazy out of your business, and you will start to feel like that you're driving your business forward. Not that you're in control to control something, but that you're in control of yourself. That's where you want to have the control. You want to be in control enough that you are creating pleasure in your business. Okay, we're up to our next commercial break. Do not go away. There's so many comments in the chat room I definitely want to get to when we get back. And I really want to continue to talk about how we can take the crazy out of your business, because remember, business should be pleasurable. You're listening to Inspired Choices. I'm your host, Christine McIver. We are on the Inspired Choices Network, and I hope to see you after the break.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Hello, my friends. How are you doing? How's this show hitting? I really do hope that it's landing, and I hope it's starting to help you to feel less crazy, because you're not crazy. You're just in the space of growing and learning how to have more pleasure with your business. But oftentimes it comes from this place where we feel like we're being squeezed into crazy land. So some of the comments in the chat room, one of the individuals says, I am constantly changing and it directly affects my business. So that can be taken either way. But when you're in the mindset of change is actually good and you see yourself evolving, or like one of our hosts says, I'm up leveling. When there's a challenge, I'm up leveling. I know it's an up level because I'm being challenged. I think that's a great mindset to have. Someone else says, I have been through so many metamorphoses, I am getting dizzy, right? We go through so many evolutions of who we are, and especially in business, it sometimes can be really alarming. I remember one time I was told that I would miss more opportunities that came my way than I would actually take advantage of. And I was like, hell no, I won't. I made it my mission. I made it my mission to pay attention to the opportunities that came by. I didn't say no out of the gate. I asked more questions. I cannot imagine being the CEO of Inspired Choices Network, having created this business the way it is today, if I'd have stayed in the lane of business coaching only, or in the lane of personal coaching only. If I'd have believed what everybody else said when the times were tough, I would have gone back into human resources. And I don't think that I would have been doing myself a favor. I don't think that I would have been doing the people that I would have been working with a favor. And I know that the thousands of people that listen to our shows and all of the businesses and hosts that have been impacted by this creation, they wouldn't have had this opportunity. So I know that me following an opportunity that I couldn't see what it was going to look like, I had no idea what it was going to bring into my life, it was going to bring into my business. I just stayed open to the opportunity until I could discover what it possibly could look like. Then it wouldn't have been here. I wouldn't have been here. When you're going about in your business and you've decided the way something has to look, and you start to shut down because you're feeling overwhelmed with the uncertainty, you're not only keeping out things you're worried about, you're keeping out things that could possibly contribute to you. So uncertainty is the unknown. But creativity lives in the unknown until it's been birthed, right? You don't know. Whatever business you're in today, it doesn't matter what it is, it couldn't continue to evolve. Your business is an entity, it's energy. And there are other things that are going on in the universe that it could align with. The energies could match. New opportunities can be coming your way. But you've decided that this is how it has to be, this is who I am, and I'm not changing it for nothing, then you're going to miss out on the opportunities, and you might actually feel like you're going crazy. So you've probably heard this story before, but the reason that I actually left human resources was because I felt like I was going crazy. I actually had a mental breakdown. It was the biggest gift that ever occurred in my life, in my business life, my career life, because if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for the opportunity to feel like I was going crazy, I wouldn't have become self-employed. I would not have created what I've created with my businesses. And I certainly wouldn't be the person that I am today. I wouldn't have the level of confidence that I have today. I wouldn't be able to speak publicly the way I can today. But I said yes to choosing something different because I didn't want to go back to that crazy. So what if the crazy is a gift for you to wake up? What if you can step back from this and just look at it from a different perspective so that you can see that there is a different possibility trying to come through, right? Think of your body. We don't pay attention to a sore knee until the knee, we don't pay attention to our knees really until that knee is very, very sore. And if you wake up in the morning and you can't walk and it's swollen, you're like, oh my God, my knee, right? And then once you start to heal that knee and things go back to a wonderful space, then you're just happy. Like you don't even think about that knee could possibly be pain. But what if actually having pain in that knee had you start to do stretches, had you start to take care of your body in a different way, right? Which elongated your life, which created more opportunities to be active and have more fun, right? If that didn't occur, you may have not chosen some of those other opportunities. There is gift in the crazy. There is possibilities in all of this. When the crazy comes, it's up to you to decide, okay, if this is happening 2 or 3 days in a row, or this is happening every week, it's time for me to step back and really look at this, right? We all have crazy days where we feel like we want to run away. That doesn't mean we give up. It means that we get creative. It means that we ask ourselves questions. And one of the questions I want you to ask yourself is, am I creating this crazy? And if you get a yes, ask yourself, how am I doing that? Am I too stubborn? Do I have a belief system that's no longer true for me? Have I made a decision that this is exactly the way it's supposed to be? Otherwise, it doesn't deem that I'm successful, right? If I'd have decided, guys, I was in human resources for many years. I invested a lot of money in my education. I was on the human resources board for 10 years. I really put a lot of stake into what that was for me in my life and how that was going to contribute to my future. And when I chose a new path, there was a part of me that said, oh my God, like, why would I walk away from this? What is this going to mean about me that I gave up? I didn't give up. I continued to evolve. You see, we know that people continue to move forward. We move forward as we grow. We move forward as we get new education, as we're growing as children. We move forward and we live in different places because we're constantly evolving. Well, why would that stop when you are in business? Why would it stop? A lot of people go, well, I watch other people and this is how they do it and they make lots of money this way and blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, that's what works for them. What if you could take a little bit of the understanding of what they're doing and then ask yourself what would work for you and be open? Are you open to new possibilities? Are you open to evolving? Or have you decided you're done? Have you decided? Are you open to doing something so incredibly different that it brings you more pleasure and more joy than you've ever imagined? But if you're not open to new possibilities, how's it going to come, right? If I was not, I didn't know anything about an online radio show. I didn't know anything about TV. I have learned all of this as I've gone along in my business over the last 15 years. But my friends, I was open to learning. I was open to challenging myself. And, there's been lots of different challenges that I have grown through, but I had to keep asking, okay, where am I in this challenge? What part of this am I holding myself back? What am I responsible for here? You've got to be willing to, if you're in your own business, you've got to be willing to look at that all of the time. All of the time. Because the thing of it is when you're in your own business, you're learning and growing. And when you've never been in business before, you don't know some of the belief systems that might be buried that are going to be brought to the surface as you are in your business. You don't know the thoughts that are going to be triggered within you as you are in your own business and as you step up and you grow and you evolve. You don't know this before you start. So if you're not looking at yourself and really evaluating where you're at from a neutral perspective, you're not going to see the opportunity that's in front of you where you can grow. And when you grow, this is the really awesome thing. When you have a challenge, when you're feeling crazy, when you feel like you definitely have contributed to this space and you're willing to really dive in and look at yourself and get some knowledge, get some personal development going on, get some support with that, and you begin to evolve, your energy changes. And so as your energy changes and you move into a different space, you're now available for different opportunities that would never have been a match for you previously. Does that make sense? Do you understand that you are the key? And sometimes you're also the block. You have these opportunities, and you have what it takes to change all of this in your life. And yeah, some days you need some real big support because it gets crazy out here sometimes. Technology can be crazy at moments. Different service providers, different things that you thought were going to go one way can completely go another. You're not alone. And you're not alone in feeling like you're crazy either. But guess what? You are responsible for the direction that you go in. You're responsible to continue down the crazy path or to make a different choice. You can make another choice, but you got to get really, really straight with yourself. And you've got to really look at your involvement in the crazy and what you possibly are doing to make it even worse. Are you stubborn? Are you decided that I am never going to change like that? Or are you willing to be challenged? Ooh, that's a tough one. When you feel like you're on the crazy train and it's not your fault and somebody wants to challenge you, that can get really ugly really fast. Give yourself a break for a little bit and then be willing to come back to that. That can be one of the greatest gifts you can ever give yourself. You, my friend, are growing and evolving, and you won't grow any faster and you won't evolve any more than when you're in your own business. All right, we are up to our final break of the show. Don't go away. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. You're listening to Inspired Choices with your host, Christine McIver. That's me on the Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're already at the end of the show. That's crazy. That's the thing that's crazy, how fast things go. And time does go very, very fast. And it feels like it's going faster and faster all the time. If you find that you are struggling in business and that you feel like you're going crazy because you can't seem to get it right, even though you really, really want to, please know that you're not alone and that time is of the essence, that you put your hand up and ask for help. And here's a really great question. If a year from now you're still in the same struggle, would you be happy? And if you get a hell no jump out of your head or you jump out of your mouth, it's time for you to take some different action. You deserve to have happiness and you deserve to have pleasure. And I can tell you that on the other side of this frustration, your brilliance will start to shine even greater. It doesn't take a huge amount of change, it often takes support, and it takes someone assisting you to see a different perspective. So I would love for you to reach out to me, Christine, at inspiredchoices.ca. It brings me great pleasure to work one-on-one with entrepreneurs and watch them begin to grow and evolve and bring more ease into their life. You don't have to do it alone, but you do have to take the steps to make the changes happen. So one of the other things that I really want to touch on tonight in feeling like you're going crazy is how many of you are watching social media posts or even emails where they are projecting at you fear mongering, where they're saying, oh my gosh, are you experiencing this? You know what? Are you still doing this? Or have you stepped up beyond this already? You know, where they're projecting all this fear at you. If you don't do this, you're going to fail. How many of you are being pulled into that fear mongering, which is creating so much anxiety and stress and making you feel like you're crazy because you don't know how to not follow what they are saying? There are a lot of people out there. There are people that are very credible. There are people that are, you know, have been very successful. And all of a sudden you'll see them start to do this fear mongering. If somebody needs to use fear mongering to try to get clients, I would say run, because that is not the way that we should be out here supporting each other to grow. That is not the way that we create change, is by utilizing fear. That is absolute garbage. And that is someone who themselves are probably scrambling and feeling fearful that their business is failing. Please keep that in mind, my friends. That's not the way that you need to do it. There are so many things that you will be experiencing in business and probably feeling like, you know, you're experiencing crazy on so many levels. I've done a lot of shows talking about using different programs and organizing yourself and putting things in place to create more ease. Please go back and listen to those shows. You can find all of those shows on any podcast platform you can imagine. If you'd like to see the whole library of content, you can come over to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com and just look under podcasts and you'll see my podcast there. But it's so important that you understand that when you get organized and you have systems, you're going to feel more relaxed. You're going to feel in control, so that when opportunities come or when there are challenges, you're not going to be under so much pressure. Organizing and having systems in place supports you in the challenging times more than anything else. And then when life happens, which it always does, you're not going to be at the effect and feeling like you can't maybe go have some fun. You can't maybe take a few days off because everything is so crazy and you have to do this to survive. My friends, let's start to put the support mechanisms in place to take the crazy out of your life and to open you up to more opportunities. Next week, I'm going to be talking about vulnerability in business is a game changer. That's a word that a lot of people don't like to talk about. That's a word that people say they want to, yeah, they believe in it, but then when it comes to them being vulnerable, they don't want to do that. Well, I'm going to get vulnerable with you next week, and I'm going to encourage you to learn about how vulnerability can be such a huge gift to you and to your clients and to your customers and to future opportunities. Vulnerability has so many beautiful gifts within it. But again, if you avoid vulnerability like you avoid new opportunities, it's going to feel like it's just creating crazy and you're going to want to run away from it. You don't have to run away from anything, but what you do need to do is take responsibility for your joy, take responsibility for your pleasure, and understand that all of that is available in business. But it's up to you. What do you want to choose? I hope you choose you, and I hope you choose more pleasure, and I hope you choose more joy and ease. Until next time, my friends, remember, you can always make another choice. Bye for now.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life, making the choices that bring you all that you desire.